Seeds of Success listeners, and welcome to another episode of Seeds of Success. Okay, Orly, I have got to ask you, today's title is Left on Red. I'm scratching my head trying to figure out exactly what you mean, but can you give me a clue here?
Yeah, so left on red, I feel like it's more of a I guess newer slang thing some people use. I always try to stay up to date with the newest slang and try to stay cool, because I'm getting up there in age. But left
Okay,
on
don't
red,
get
sometimes it could mean I know people use it these days, like let's say a guy texts a girl and it's like, "Oh, she left me on red. She didn't reply him. He saw that it
right.
says red." So, yeah, left on red today. We're just going to talk a little bit about how you don't want to leave, especially your staff text messages. They text you asking a question. They don't want to be left, on just read and hearing no reply. I feel whether you're an owner or a manager, I get it. People are busy at times, but if you could even reach back out, if they have a question, reach back out. And even if it's a simple, hey, I'm a little busy right now, I'll get back to you in a few. Because if you're leaving people on red, they're going to be a little upset and feel that they're not that they're not important, that
Well,
their issues and concerns are not important, and they might need those answered to help a customer that's in the center at that time. Or,
mhm.
you never know the situation. So at least check in with them and don't leave them on red.
Yeah, okay. That's such a relevant topic today. And I was kind of hoping that was the road we were going to go down, but that is very, very important. And especially today, we all are struggling with making sure that we have enough staff for, our to run our business the way we want it run, and to keep them motivated and delivering the service that we want them to deliver. And if they are left hanging and or left on red, and they have a question or a concern or a topic that they would like to discuss with you, and you are not taking the time to respond to them, that's a really good way to demotivate your staff. They feel like they're not important. And folks, your staff is your front line. Your staff is what greets your customer. Your staff is what makes your business what it is today.
Yeah.
And it's so important. And it's those little things that you can do that help them to stay motivated, help them to see their importance. And goodness, let them know how important they are. Tell them
Yeah.
sometimes, say, you know what, you really are doing a great job and I appreciate you. You have no idea what that will do for the motivation of an employee, and how that just, it fills them with pride and they want to do a better job for you.
Yeah,
Um,
and I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. You could check in with them, whether it's a simple text or email. Hey, how's everyone doing? You guys have any concerns, or is there any questions you have? If you don't do those things and then you randomly send a message, hey, how's everything going? Your staff's gonna get worried, like, why are they texting
yeah.
me? Like, why they never
Yeah.
text? You don't want to be known as a person that never texts or never asks questions. I get if you might be the owner and maybe you don't work in the center, like you're not an everyday person in the center, but let them know that you care about it. If you own the business, let them know you care about it. Let them know any information they need to know. You could set up weekly meetings, bi-weekly, monthly, just that way it gives them an opportunity. Say, hey, if you need anything before our next meeting, reach out. If you have any questions, Dottie's very good about that. She could be taking a day off, but she always says, I always seem to bug her on her days off, but she'll be like, if you need something, let me know. Send me a text, send an email. And, I'm sure they're going to be happy to help you. And if they're not, maybe let them know, hey, when I reach out to you, and if I reach out to you, let them know, hey, when I reach out, is it possible I get you're busy, but can you just send me a message back to let me know you got the message? Or a good way to look at it, I feel, is reverse the roles. If you
Yeah.
text a staff member and they didn't write you back, how are you going to
Mhm.
feel? So just
Yeah.
just know that's how they feel.
You're ignoring me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to touch on something that you said about staff meetings or weekly meetings. Those are so beneficial, and we can do a whole episode on that, and I'm sure we will down the road. But those weekly meetings, if you get in the habit of having those, you can also use that as an opportunity to keep your staff motivated. So they don't have to be strictly business. You can take that opportunity to issue out kudos for things that they've done well and bring things to their attention that customers came and said, hey, that was a great experience. So there are opportunities to turn those into not just routine meetings, but actually something that the staff looks forward to.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I wanted to mention is, the same thing really can apply to a customer. So if you have a customer that reaches out to you and you don't reply, they're going to think the same thing too.
Yeah.
So make sure that you're doing that with a customer. And even if they're, one of the things that I used to train my staff to do was when we were super crowded and we had, 4 or 5 people deep waiting at the customer service desk to be waited on. I wanted to make sure that the staff members knew how to make eye contact or to make sure that they got the customer's attention, to let them know that they acknowledged that they were there and that they, even hold up a finger and say, it'll be just a minute or I'll be right with you. That goes a long way for someone that's waiting to be served. So, there's a lot of different ways that you can spin what we're doing here on today's podcast, but always recognize someone that is needing your attention, because for them, it's a big deal. It's a big enough deal that they reached out. So make sure that you show them that they're important by responding to them in a timely manner. Same with social media, which is a whole nother show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same
But
thing with social media.
You mentioned a good thing. You said, if a customer reaches out to you directly, I mean, I did that where I've gone into a business, I'm like, hey, are you guys able to do this? And they, like a certain thing. And then they say, well, let me reach out to the owner and see what they say. And then you check in a few days later, a week later, and they're like, well, they still haven't replied to me about that. How does that look on you when you're like, your owner's not replying over a week to your own staff member, to your employee, that me as a customer, I see that and I'm like, wow, they're not replying to you. They're not replying to me. They're not replying to you in over a week, So it's really important that you do reach back out. And even if it's just hey, let me think about that. Let the customer know to let me think about that. And we'll see if we could come up with a solution, but at least you're saying something and they see that you're actually, taking interest in it, not just ignoring it.
Right. And the same thing goes if an employee sends you a text message and you're not able to really elaborate and answer it the way it should be answered because you're busy, then at the very least, send back a text message and say, I am in the middle of something at the moment, but I will get back with you just as soon as I possibly can. But I say that with a warning. Don't then leave that, make sure that you follow through with that. Don't say that you're going to and not, because that sends out a bad message as well. So
and if you're not replying, the employee might eventually be like, sure, you can do that, or yes, we can do that. And then, I mean, you kind of can't get mad at them. If you're not replying to them, they kind of had to come for an answer, because a customer's not going to wait forever on a certain, a certain topic or something. They might need an answer soon, sooner than later. Right. So,
and if the employee is coming to you and you cannot possibly respond appropriately, the way you need to, do, because you are short on time at the moment, then make sure that you also ask the employee if it's an emergency, because if it is an emergency, then you do need to stop, or you need to have someone else address it if you can't. So make sure that you're mindful of why they're coming to you. It's important to them.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely makes a huge difference. So keep your staff red, not on, well, keep them, how would I say it? I don't even know how to say it, but anyways, don't leave them on red.
Yes, absolutely. So listeners, we appreciate you spending a few minutes with us today. Our goal, as always, with Seeds of Success is to keep things top of mind for you that are important for you to grow your business, or keep things top of mind that maybe you've forgotten about. This is a perfect example. Your customers, your employees are so important. Without either one of those, you wouldn't be in business. And so make sure that when they reach out to you, that you are responding to them. Don't leave them unread. Don't leave them hanging. Make sure that you get back to them and send out that message that they are important to you. So, Orly, thank you so much. I appreciate your bizarre title. I now get it, and I hope that our listeners have found today's seed to be helpful. So, listeners, until next time, we appreciate you being here, and we look forward to you listening in on our next podcast next week. Have a great day, everyone.